All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the data deluge. Pretty much every organization out there is sitting on an absolute mountain of information. But how do you turn all that chaos into actual clarity? So today, we're going to break down the modern data stock and build a simple guide so you can find the answers you need right when you need them.
So let's start with an analogy. Picture this, all of your company's data, every single sale, every click on your website, every customer chat. Think of each one as a book. But here's the problem. Right now, for many businesses, it's like all those books are just dumped in a giant, disorganized pile in some dusty old warehouse. They have the information, but finding that one specific book you need feels next to impossible.
So what do? Well, you don't just try to tidy up that messy pile. No way. The real solution is to build a whole new library. A modern, digital, state-of-the-art library that's designed from the ground up to not just store everything, but to make it all incredibly easy to find, access, and actually use.
Now, in the tech world, this awesome idea has a name. It's called a lakehouse. It's a really clever system that basically smashes together two older ideas. You get the huge, cheap storage of what's called a data lake, but you also get the super smart, fast organization of a data warehouse. You literally get the best of both worlds.
Okay, so how does this whole digital library thing actually work under the hood? It might sound super technical, but trust me, it all boils down to just 4 key layers, with each one building right on top of the last.
First up, you've got the foundation. This is your object store. Just think of it as the physical building of the library, a massive, almost infinite hard drive up in the cloud. Then, of course, you have the books themselves. These are your actual data files. To find anything, you need the card catalog. This is so crucial. It's the master index that knows exactly where every single book is. And finally, you have the readers. These are the tools and the engines that do the actual work of reading the books and finding the insights you're looking for.
All right, let's zoom in on that card catalog, because this is where things get really interesting. See, it's not a one-size-fits-all deal. The kind of catalog you need really depends on the job you're trying to do. Are you running big business reports, or are you trying to build some cutting-edge AI?
Basically, you've got two main players on the field right now. If you're doing classic analytics, things like show me all the sales figures from last quarter, you're probably going to use something called Apache Iceberg. It's fantastic at scanning huge amounts of data. But what if you're doing AI stuff, like find me all the images that look like this product? For that, you need lightning-fast lookups on very specific data points. And that's where a newer format called Lance really shines.
Okay, so our library is built, the card catalog is sorted, what's next? Well, now we actually have to read the books, right? And just like a real researcher, you have different tools depending on how deep you need to go, from a quick look to a massive project. If you're just doing some simple analysis on your laptop, something like Pandas is your go-to. It's like a reliable pair of reading glasses. It just works. But what if you need more horsepower, but still on just one machine? Then you'd reach for Polaris. Think of it as a super-powered magnifying glass. It's way faster. And then there are the monster jobs, the ones so big they have to run across a whole bunch of computers at once. For that, you've got Dask, which is like having an entire team of research assistants all working together in parallel.
So, we've gone through all the nuts and bolts, the how of building this amazing data library. But let's take a step back for a second. Why does any of this actually matter? What's the big payoff for going through all this trouble?
Well, it turns out getting this right unlocks 3 huge benefits that can totally change the game for any organization. First off, it demolishes those dreaded data silos. Where marketing data is stuck over here and sales data is over there. With a data mesh approach, each team can manage its own part of the library, making data a shared resource, not a bottleneck. Second, it puts power into more people's hands. With new low-code tools, the marketing team can analyze their own customer data without having to wait in line for the IT department. That's huge. And third, and this is the big one, it is the fuel for the next generation of AI. A well-organized library is exactly what you need to power everything from smarter search to amazing generative AI.
And look, this isn't just a small step forward, it's a massive leap. As Jackie Ann and Prashanth Rao from LanceDB put it, this whole modern stack is built around that lakehouse idea. It's a unified system that blends flexibility with performance. It's one system to handle everything, from reports to AI.
So, that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. Imagine for a second that your organization has done this. You've built this perfect library. Finding any piece of data is as simple as checking out a book. What could you build? What new products could you invent? What questions could you finally answer?